Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with another episode of the Dong Report. The Dong Report being where I give out my favorite MLB home run predictions of the day. And for those of you that missed yesterday's video, we're doing things a little bit differently, a little bit of a different format on the Dong Report. Instead of just giving out 3 guys that I like that you play straight up, I'm giving out 7 guys to put into a round robin. It's been phenomenal the entire season since I've been doing these round robins, which I'm calling Dong Robins now. And that continued yesterday. So I gave out 7 picks officially on this YouTube channel, 7 home run picks. 3 of those 7 cashed. Thank you to Brent Rooker. Thank you to Anthony Santander, and thank you to Brandon Lowe for coming through with us with Monster Dongs. Because of those 3 guys hitting a home run, we ended the day up 1.9 units yesterday, which is amazing. So on the entire season, it's a little bit wonky grading the stats because if you just took every play that I officially gave out on the Dong Report, not including the Dong Robins, you'd be down about 15 units. That's very bad. The Dong Robins, which I had been posting to my channel via Twitter and just posting it in the comments, like the YouTube community notes or whatever, those are up over 14 units. And I started doing this in June. So it's been a little over a month since I've been doing the Dong Robins, and they had been phenomenal. So if you followed everything, Dong Robins plus Dong Report, you'd be slightly down on the year, which that looks a lot better than down 15 units. So hopefully these Dong Robins stay hot as the season goes on. We can get ourselves in the green for the entire year, including everything. If you're not already, I would appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. And then for this specific video, like, comment, all that good stuff. And then I do have a Dub Club. Dub Club is just where I send all my picks out for $5 a month. So if you're interested, don't want to watch the videos or whatever it may be, you can get all my plays sent to you for $5 a month via my Dub Club. So if you are interested, check that out. But let's get right into these Dong picks. So I'm going to have another 7 players on Dong Watch today. Number 1, and I'm just going in order of odds, shortest to longest. Number 1, Yordan Alvarez to hit a home run. We are taking him to hit a home run. And I should say, actually, I play these round robin times 2. So, and I risk a little bit over a unit total. So that's how I play these round robins. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. But that's how I play these. So anyways, play number 1, Yordan Alvarez, as I mentioned. I've been stubbornly going with Yordan a lot since honestly over the past couple weeks or so. But in fairness to me, he has just been crushing, annihilating, destroying the baseball. Really, I mean, for the past month or so, but really since the return of the All-Star break. And he's only gotten 1 home run. So over the last week, he's hit 1 home run. It's just really, really hard to see him to continue to hit the ball the way he has, and then also not be able to hit any home runs, which is kind of what's been the case. Again, he's hit 1 over the past 7 days. But look at his stats in these last 7 days. 13 total hard hits. That's 6th in the MLB. But more importantly, a hard hit rate of 81.3%, a barrel rate of 31.3%, an average exit velocity of 103.1 miles per hour, and a launch angle of 26.7 degrees. You could not cook up better stats specifically for a guy to hit a home run. I mean, those are like Barry Bonds prime, roided up, juiced up types of numbers that Yordan is putting up over the past week. And he's only got 1 home run to show for it. It's really, really unlikely that he keeps putting up the same stats that he has without getting any home runs to hit. That's kind of what I'm betting on here. It's just positive regression. In terms of the pitching matchup, going up against Gavin Stone of the Dodgers. Stone's not terrible. I'm not saying he's like a pitcher that you definitely want to target. But Gavin Stone's pitch mix does line up pretty perfectly with the types of pitches that Yordan crushes. So I feel pretty confident going back to Yordan Alvarez to hit a home run. Honestly, until he stops annihilating the baseball, I will stop taking him. Until then, I'm going to keep taking him. Let's hope he rewards me with my faith and comes through with a home run. That's play number 1. Plays number 2 and 3, I'm just going to combine into one talking point because they're both in the same game. It's the Yankees-Red Sox game. I'm taking Tyler O'Neill and I'm taking Juan Soto to hit a home run. So one thing that is weird with these round robins is that if there are players in the same game, you need to place them as a separate same game parlay. So when you do a 7-leg round robin times 2, it should be 21 total bets, but FanDuel only places 20 because it doesn't include anybody in the same game. So you'll need to go in and place the 7-leg round robin as normal, then place these 2 guys separately. It's really stupid. It is what it is. So looking at O'Neill first, because he's got the shorter odds, he's been on fire recently. I mean, since the All-Star break returned, he's hit 4 home runs in the last 7 games. Now, all 4 of those home runs have come in 2 separate games where in both games he hit 2 home runs in the same game. So honestly, if you wanted to double dip on him and take him to double dong tonight, I wouldn't blame you, or I'm not going to talk you out of that. And on Tyler O'Neill, we were on him both of those games he hit a home run. So I do feel as though we are the Tyler O'Neill whisperer over the past week or so. And obviously when you hit 4 home runs in a 7-day span, your advanced numbers are going to be fantastic. And that's exactly the case with Tyler O'Neill. Barrel rate of 23%, fly ball rate 52.9%, pull rate 64.7%, and obviously his ISO rate is phenomenal. That goes without saying with these guys that have just been mashing home runs, which is funny because he's hit 4 home runs and his stats are technically worse than Yordan Alvarez when it comes to like all these advanced metrics, which just goes to show you how positively due Yordan Alvarez is. And Tyler O'Neill, he's been really good all year. So it's not like we're just pinpointing a 7-day sample of a batter that you know isn't going to be able to keep it up. Like, sure, he's not going to hit 4 home runs in a 7-day stretch for the rest of the season, but he has been very good all year. So as soon as he stops hitting the baseball, it's kind of the same thing. You want to ride these guys when they're in the middle of a heater. When the dong's hot, you want to keep riding it, is what I always say. And then for tonight specifically, dream matchup against Nestor Cortes Jr. of the Yankees. Cortes Jr. has allowed 19 home runs on the year, which is a lot. 18 of those home runs have come against right-handed hitters. That's why we like Tyler O'Neill over some other guys on the Red Sox. And the biggest issue with Nestor Cortes Jr. is allowing the batter to put the ball in the air. He's got literally the highest launch angle in the entire MLB. O'Neill has been doing a great job all year of putting the ball in the air, so it's a match made in heaven. Love O'Neill. And then for Soto, you can make the argument that he's been the hottest or the second hottest hitter in baseball. Looking at all of his stats across the board, 3 home runs, the 3rd most hard hits in the MLB. Barrel rate of 34.8%. Just phenomenal numbers across the board. And he's also been phenomenal all season. I mean, if it wasn't for Aaron Judge, he'd probably win MVP. And really, really good matchup against Brian Bello of the Red Sox tonight. According to RotoWire, where you can find this data, he's listed as one of the 3 coldest pitchers in baseball, again, according to RotoWire. His last 61 at-bats, he's allowed a total of 19 hits, which is a .311 average, which is terrible, and 9 extra base hits in that stretch as well, including only 1 home run. Now that home run number, it's kind of the same thing for Yordan, just the opposite. The way that players and batters have been crushing Brian Bello, the home runs are going to start to come off of him as well. He's been getting rocked recently, and it doesn't help. The types of pitches that Bello throws are the types of pitches that Juan Soto smokes. The most common pitch he throws is a sinker. Soto has an ISO rate of 39.4% against the sinkers, which is a really, really good number. And these two just faced each other back in June. Soto hit a double. Let's hope he just lifts that a little bit more, gets a home run today. Soto wouldn't be a terrible bet if you wanted to be safer and take him 4+ bases as opposed to hit a home run. So if he does hit 2 doubles, you'll get rewarded for that. There's a couple batters where that would apply. Soto's definitely one of them. This is the Dong Robin, not the 4+ base Robin. So I'm only counting it if he hits a home run. But if you wanted to be safe, that wouldn't be a terrible avenue. Next up, we're taking Bobby Witt Jr. to hit a home run. Now, he's the other batter like Soto, who you could make the argument is the hottest hitter in baseball. Looking at Bobby Witt Jr., he's got 15 hard hits over the past 7 days, so more than Soto, more than Yordan Alvarez. He's got a hard hit rate of 71.4%, amazing. Barrel rate of 19%, amazing. And an average exit velocity of 98.2 miles per hour, amazing. He has just crushed the baseball since he came back from the All-Star break. He's got at least 2 hard hits in every game except for 1. So it's been 6 games. And 5 of those 6 games, he has at least 2 hard hits. And he's got 2 home runs in that stretch as well. So it's not like he's been as cold as Yordan. He's got 1 more home run. But the rate that he's hitting the ball, he should continue to mash home runs. And similar to Brian Bello, this is another pitcher that RotoWire lists as being a cold pitcher that you want to target. This time we're talking about Kyle Hendricks of the Cubs. Now, generally, you don't want to target Hendricks specifically for home runs. He's a ground ball pitcher, a contact pitcher, generally someone that gives up a lot of contact and a lot of hard hits, but the way he pitches doesn't necessarily lend batters to be able to lift the ball. But over the past 65 at-bats for him, he's allowed 23 hits, so worse than Bello. That's a .354 average, and he's given up a total of 3 home runs in that stretch. That's a really bad stretch for a contact pitcher like Hendricks. He's been terrible. And Witt is another player similar to Soto, where if you wanted to be safe, I would recommend taking him 4+ bases as opposed to a home run. They're probably the only 2 batters I would say that about today. So if you wanted to do that for them, I wouldn't talk you out of it. Again, this is the Dong Robin, so I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be tracking whether he hits a home run or not, but just kind of giving you guys some options. 3 more. Next up, Bryce Harper to hit a home run. Harper, it's kind of interesting. The Phillies offense and the Phillies as a team have been pretty cold, especially since the All-Star break and really even leading up until the All-Star break. But that really has not impacted or affected Bryce. He's actually been really good recently. 2 home runs over the past week, 12 hard hits since the return of the All-Star break. And he's similar to Witt Jr. in that he's got at least 2 hard hits in every game over the past week except for one. So 5 of 6 games, he's got 2 hard hits. But what's interesting about that is Bryce has been really good, and every game the Phillies have played since the return of the All-Star break have been away. And Bryce is a much better batter at home in front of the Philly crowd. 15 of his 23 home runs have been hit at home. His ISO rate at home, 31.6%. His ISO rate away, 23%. Now, I normally don't put a ton of emphasis on home road splits, but I do think that for Bryce, they are significant. They've been that way for a while. He loves playing in front of that Philly crowd. And tonight specifically, going up against Ben Lively of the Guardians, again, kind of similar to some other guys we talked about. He's not the worst pitcher in the world, but definitely not somebody to be scared off of either. Lively does allow hard hits. Of all pitchers that have thrown at least 90 innings, he's got the second fastest average exit velocity against, with the 18th highest hard hit rate. So he does allow pretty solid contact. But the biggest reason why I like Bryce tonight, the most 3 common pitches that Ben Lively throws: 4-seam fastballs, sinkers, sliders. Bryce's ISO rate is 26.7% or higher against all 3 of those pitches, meaning an excellent ISO rate or higher against the most common 3 pitches that Lively throws. So I'm thinking Bryce is going to mash one tonight. He's going to stay hot. Next up, second to last pick, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to hit a home run. If you're sensing a theme here, I'm backing another red hot batter. This time we're backing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's kind of interesting. The first 2.5 months of the year, he was really slumping in the home run department. Maybe this is just a blip in the radar and he's going to go back to slumping in the home run department. Or maybe he's coming out of that slump in a big way recently. He's hit 5 home runs over his last 7 games, and he's just crushed the ball in that stretch. Average exit velocity, 95.9 miles per hour, barrel rate of 20.8%. But the biggest difference has been his launch angle. He actually leads the MLB in total number of hard hits on the year. He's been really hitting the ball hard all year. The issue is he just could not get under the ball. His launch angle on the year is a very low 6.3 degrees. So yeah, he's crushing the baseball, but those hard hits weren't hit high enough to leave the ballpark. Over the past week, that has been upped to 10.4 degrees, which is admittedly still a low number in the grand scheme of things, but it is better than it has been. And if he can continue to hit the ball as hard as he has, while being able to up his launch angle just a little bit like he has recently, then he's going to continue to hit home runs and go on some more binges. Going up against Andrew Heaney tonight, Heaney throws a 4-seam fastball over 50% of the time. Generally, the worst home run pitchers are ones that throw a ton of fastballs because the harder the throw, if you're able to get contact on it, the farther it goes. And Vlad doesn't have great numbers against the fastball on the year, but he does historically in his career. And the home run stretch that he's been on, the home run binge that he's been on, is because he's been hitting fastballs better. So hopefully that continues tonight. He mashes one for us. Now our last pick of the evening, Jesus Sanchez to hit a home run. As always, we save our biggest and longest shot play till the end. Now looking at Sanchez, he's not quite hitting the baseball as hard as the other guys over the past week, but he has been very good in the month of July. So he's a batter where if you look at his season-long stats, you're not going to be that impressed. But since July 1st, he's hit 5 of his 12 home runs. So a little bit less than half of his home runs in 3 weeks worth of baseball is pretty good. Since July 1st, he's got an ISO rate of 32.8% and a barrel rate of 13%. Now his barrel rate's been good all year. His season-long barrel rate, 12.2%. The biggest difference recently is he's added a little bit more pop. So the balls that he's barreling, he's hitting a little bit harder. And he is a left-handed hitter going up against Freddie Peralta of the Brewers. Now, Peralta actually is a good pitcher. I'm not going to say that he's fine, like I've said about some of the other pitchers, but he's slightly worse against left-handed hitters. His fly ball rate, his pull rate are higher against lefties, while his hard hit rate is relatively equal. But Peralta throws a 4-seamer over 50% of the time. Similar to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the recent power surge for Sanchez is because he's been hitting the fastball better. So hopefully that continues tonight. Hopefully he dongs one for us. And that's all we got. 7 players on Dong Watch for you guys to lock in. If any 2 of the 7 hit a home run, then we should be at least profitable for the day. Granted, slightly profitable depending on which 2, but if we can get any combination of 3, we will be very green for the year. So we're hoping Yordan Alvarez, Tyler O'Neill, Juan Soto, Witt Jr, Bryce Harper, Vladimir Guerrero Jr, Jesus Sanchez. Let's go 7 for 7. Why not? Let's get weird. But that is all we got. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure to check out the Dub Club if you are interested. $5 a month gets everything sent directly to your phone. I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.